So last week, as everybody knows, Donald Trump put out this post on Truth Social talking about how great his health is, his physical health, his mental health. He is better than anybody that has ever lived at any point in human history. And then the weekend rolled around. And over the weekend, we got photographs of Donald Trump sitting at a table by himself at Mar-a-Lago, looking like death warmed over. In the photograph that went viral over the weekend, Donald Trump can be seen with no pigmentation at all. I mean, he's so white, he's almost clear, which is definitely a sign of very poor blood flow, very poor circulation. But even aside from that, his eyes can barely stay open. He's hunched over, mouth agape. The guy looks like he's praying for the Grim Reaper to please come and put me out of my misery. So, of course, the internet erupted with this. One user said, "Is it just me, or does Trump seem to be aging by a year for every week that goes by?" Chris Jackson, chairs local Democratic Party chapter in Tennessee, criticized the media for ignoring what he characterized as Trump's declining health, as well as their coverage of former President Joe Biden's well-documented mental decline, saying, quote, "Jake Tapper and the media have spent the better part of the past year telling the country Joe Biden would be in a wheelchair by now while insisting Donald Trump was some sharp, vigorous 80-year-old. They didn't just get it wrong, they cashed in. Biden was old, competent, and boring, and that didn't fit in their business model. Chaos did. So they boosted Trump, fed the outrage machine, and sold out our democracy for clicks and access." And Chris Jackson, that might be the best quote I have ever read about this particular issue. I love every second of it. Because it's absolutely right. And of course, it's similar to what I have been saying all year. If Biden had done this, I mean, Jesus Christ, I may as well get it on a t-shirt, perhaps tattooed on my arm so I don't have to repeat it. I can just show you, if Biden had done this. The point is, the decline we have seen with Donald Trump in year one of his second term is worse than what we saw in 4 years of decline from Biden. And Biden's decline did happen. There is no denying that, and I don't think anybody is at this point. But if you thought there was a cover-up with Biden, and you're not talking about a cover-up with Trump, the guy who 2 days ago didn't know what body part he had an MRI done on, but did remind people that the MRI was performed immediately after the cognitive test? Like, let me put it this way. If you ever go in and the doctor's like, "Let me give you a cognitive test," and you take the test and then the doctor says, "Let's go get an MRI right now." Okay? If that ever happens to you, worry. Okay? Worry a lot. Because that's kind of an indication that, holy crap, you failed the test. Now I have to find out what's wrong with you. But according to Trump, for the second time, he doesn't even know what happened. I don't know. They just did it. It was fun. It was like a big tube, like a water slide, except without the slide part. So it is what it is, and the media is not talking about it. But don't worry, folks, because the Republicans are already on damage control. Because after this horrific photo of Donald Trump went viral over the weekend, Roger Stone, longtime Trump confidant, and of course a guy that was convicted for lying to Congress before Trump pardoned him, Roger Stone came out, posted an old photograph of him with Donald Trump, and said, quote, "It's entertaining that those who lied so convincingly about the fact that Joe Biden was a veritable incoherent vegetable when he was president now insist Trump is the one suffering. This is the president who I saw only days ago and who is no different than he has been in the 50 years I've known him, is slipping in near death? Ha! Not likely, right?" In that photograph that Roger Stone posted, which he claims was from a few days ago, but honest to God, we don't know. It could be a year old. Well, not in the Oval Office, but you get my point. But even in that photo, if you look at it closely, you'll notice something. Donald Trump is not wearing his orange makeup. You can see because of how pale his face is. But then look at the color of his hands compared to the color of his face. Those hands are several shades whiter than his face, which is an indication of serious circulation problems. He's not getting blood flow in his extremities the way that they need. He's not standing up anymore for photographs, for press briefings, for anything. If Trump is talking to reporters, he is either popping through the door on Air Force One for 2 minutes before he has to go sit down, or he's already sitting down at a table, looking like a child waiting their parent to bring them their Thanksgiving feast. His health, physical and mental, is far worse than anything we saw with Biden. Biden's was mental, right? Yeah, he tripped a couple times, but when you hit that age, you're going to do that. Guy could still ride a bike. I don't know that Donald Trump has ever been able to ride a bike. And he sure as hell wouldn't be able to hop on one right now. So when you take the physical and mental of Trump compared to just the mental of Biden, what we're dealing with now is far worse. And the cover-up from the White House is 1,000 times worse than anything we saw with President Biden. Scientists recently discovered a new evolutionary trait in puppies, and it's that they cannot grow up and reach their full potential unless you subscribe to this channel. Don't do it for me, folks. Do it for little Atlas and Judge here. Good boys. You do good. Want to say something? No? Okay.